I don't have a fucking chin. I shaved my chin right into the sink with all my beautiful, beautiful beard hair. You know what beards are great for? Stopping your face from going into your stupid neck. For 3 weeks, I looked like Beaker from the Muppet Show. Terrible. Terrible. Throw this mangy thing back. It's been a while since I've been here to this club. It's one of my favorite clubs in the country, but it's been, I think, 2 years or so. Thanks. And it's been a while since I've changed a couple of things about myself since the last time I was here for my wife and our baby and our future. How did I get bitter? That's weird. It's true. My wife asked me to stop going to strip clubs a couple of years back, so I did, and I didn't ask her why, I just did it. But I still love strippers. Like, if I'm at the airport and I see a stripper, it's the same as seeing a dude in the military. It's like, thanks. Fuck yeah. We're super proud of you. I appreciate your service. I say you're out there doing God's work, stripper lady. And or military person. Giving dudes boners and killing them. Separately. Been all over the country for years doing stand-up, so I've been to strip clubs in every city pretty much. I bought a girl a car or two over the years. Well, you gotta tip big when you come on them. I'm sorry. They are called gentlemen's clubs, and that is how a true gentleman behaves. Sorry, madam. Please excuse my goo. How much will it cost for you to stop crying? I shall head to the nearest ATM and return promptly, for I am a gentleman. I never wear a hat, I just do the mime. It really fucks with them. They're like, is that weird? I think he's wearing a hat? What the fuck? What a kook. Biggest change I made in my life in the last 2 years, it's going to be 2 years in March since I quit smoking weed. And, some nights I get booze. Last night I got booze, and here's the thing. I boo myself every fucking morning. Every morning since I quit that doesn't begin with a wake and bake. It's like fucking boo. Remembering things. Boo. Human contact, also boo. Outside, fuck you outside. Back when I was here the last time, I used to have jokes specifically to get strangers in the audience to get me high after the show. It's true, because I would travel with weed, and then I got paranoid about traveling with weed from smoking weed. Like I'd be going through the TSA just high out of my fucking mind, and I'm fucking sweating, and I have a sack under my sack. And then I get to wherever I'm going, and I'm smoking ass weed all weekend. This is true. A true story. 2 years ago or so, I'm in North Carolina, and I get on the plane in North Carolina, and I'm so fucking high. And I'm out of weed, but I smoked all the weed. It's all in me now. And the plane lands, and I'm in Canada. And I get off, and I'm in Calgary, and I walk through customs. I'm still high. And I get past customs, and then the next step is you're walking out of the airport to baggage claim, and there's these two guards standing there, and they've got a drug dog. This is totally true. I see the drug dog, and I love dogs, so I see her and I go, "Hey, beautiful." What a fucking idiot. Because the next thing that happens, I swear to God, is these two guys just grab me and they go, "You're coming with us." And I'm like, "Whoa, what's happening? Where am I going?" And they go, "The dog indicated you." And then I thought about it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I indicated myself. You know the only people who try to hug drug dogs? People on drugs. And retarded folks. And since I didn't have, like, my chaperone, like a lady named Karen, you know, I wasn't like, she wasn't carrying my Toy Story backpack for me. And I was like, Karen said I could have ham on the plane. Karen, can I give that doggy a hug? I want to hug him. It'll be a nice hug. I won't hurt him this time. I promise. Okay, Karen. Since Karen wasn't there, it was clear to these two gentlemen I was high as fuck. So I have to do the whole thing. They don't find any weed on me, but I'm on a list. So, so I had jokes to get people to get me high after the show. Like, most of my nights would end with me behind a comedy club like this, standing next to a dumpster. That dumpster. Just smoking whatever random shit people brought me. Super safe, right? Like, I don't know why I never ended up in a van going, "What the fuck, where are you taking me?" And you have more of that. And, so some nights, every night ended with a session, a weed session. Some nights it would be me and a couple of dudes. Some nights it'd be me and one dude. This particular night, true story, it was in Portland, Oregon, at the other Helium out there in Oregon. And great, Portland's fucking amazing. And if you're not familiar with Portland, weed's practically legal there. So the session was giant. There's 20 of us standing outside the comedy club. And we've got a couple of joints going and a couple of pipes going. And because it's Portland, there's the super stoner that brought a backpack with a vaporizer and 4 different types of medical weed. Like, he's fucking serious about his hobby. At one point, I swear to God, he goes like, "You ever smoke Yoda's brain?" And I'm like, "Smoke it, I will." "Pass it, you shall." And then I pass me. So, we're smoking Yoda's brain, and Super Stoner even had a Super Stoner nickname. He introduced himself as Ganja John. I'm pretty sure his parents had nothing to do with that. We're hanging out with Ganja John, and we're smoking Ganja John shit, and 20 minutes later, most of the other people have left. Now it's just me and a couple of stragglers, and Ganja John standing next to a dumpster. And as the kids say, I'm high as fuck. And Ganja John pulls out his eye. Yeah. That was my reaction. Yeah. That's how he let us know he had a fake eye. He just yanked it the fuck out. Like, we weren't talking about eyes or anything. Like, in fact, we were talking about movies. Like, I remember, I was like, Thor looks awesome. I want to see that, and I want to see Captain America too. And then he's like, fucking blue. Suddenly, there's a black hole in this dude's face. I think fucking demons are gonna fly out of there. Like, fucking, we come for your soul. The next thing, this is all true, he turns to me and my new friends. I call them my new friends because we just witnessed something horrifying together. And that's how friends are made and bonds are formed. So he turns to us and he really said this. He goes, I like to fuck with people. And I'm like, clearly. You should put that on a shirt, dick. Because here's the thing. If anybody has a fake eye, and you think it's like a good conversation piece or a nice topic starter, you're not wrong. But here's a tip. Use words. You know what I mean? Something like, guess what, guys? I've got a fake eye. So I can say proper response, that's fucked up. Don't play darts, I guess, right? Then give us the option. Something along the lines like, would you like to see said fake eye? So I can either go, yeah, yes, or fuck no, keep that shit in your head. Which is what I would have said had the option been given by Ganja John. Instead, no option. Just, Thor looks awesome, that guy looks Nordic, I wonder where they found him. Fucking bloop. And then me going, oh my god, what is happening? And he really said that. This whole story is completely true. He really said, I like to fuck with people. And then the next thing he did is he showed us just how much he likes to fuck with people and how. Because what he did next is he pulled out his iPhone. And again, he only has one of those. It's the dumbest thing I'll say all night, I promise. Doesn't get any more stupid than that. But it's true. And on his iPhone is photographic proof of just how he fucks with people. What he will do is he will put different objects inside his gross eye hole. I know. Every night people do this. And every night I say, fuck you. Because I had to see it. You just get to hear about it. Like it's burned into my brain. I see it when I close my two beautiful, beautiful eyes. It's true. He'll put, like, Monopoly figures and shit in there. I know, it's horrifying. Again, I saw the photos. He'll put, like, the thimble or that boot or that fucking old-timey car you've never ever seen anywhere else. He'll put that in there. This is true. And then he'll wear an eye patch, and he'll head out for the evening and horrify humans. The worst thing he does is he'll put a piece of weed in there. I know, like a nice little green bug with little red hair, so I fucking miss it. He'll put that in there. He'll put that in there, wear the eye patch, be hanging around people that don't know him, like at a party or a keg or whatever, and go, hey, I'm out of weed, and they'll go, oh, that sucks, me too, and then he'll go, oh, wait, I know where I have some more. Fucking bleh. And they'll never smoke pot again. I was like, dude, if you really want to fuck with people, you should put a lit candle in there. Lift up the iPads and go, look, I'm a pothead lantern. People fucking run from you, punching and kicking you. So, Jeremy and Dave are both quite a bit younger than me. They're in their 30s, though, but sometimes I'll work with really young guys. A couple weeks ago, the kid going on before me was a kid. He's 26, and he's telling people every night before I come out how much he hates himself. And I'm like, dude, you're 26. You don't know self-hatred at 26. You might think you do. If you're in your 20s, like self-hatred is Friday night, you're standing in front of the mirror, measuring your penis, listening to Morrissey. Wondering why your friends don't call. Dear Morrissey, why don't my friends poke me on Facebook? Oh, Morrissey, please tell me. That's not true self-hatred. I'll tell you true self-hatred. Like, I'm 46 now, and I hate myself on levels I never thought possible. 2 months ago, Like, my body is just getting worse and worse, and it's just so going south. I know it looks awesome, but my belly looks like there should be flies around it, like something distended, like on a Care commercial or something. Anyways, so I'm in Manhattan. I'm staying in Times Square. By the way, Times Square, worst place on the planet, pretty much. Fuck Times Square and its dirty butthole. Fuck that place. Oh my god. They have a 2-story Sparrow on Times Square. You ever been in Sparrow, the shittiest Italian food you've ever had at the fucking mall? You ever been standing in the shitty mall at the shitty Sparrow and going, God, I wish this place was 2 stories tall. I wish all my friends could be having the worst Italian food ever with me. I wish everybody I knew could be in here. Go to Times Square. There's a fucking M&M store on Times Square. You know your 5th favorite candy? They've got a store. You know that candy you eat once a year at the airport? You ever want a whole store full of it? Go to Times Square. So, I'm miserable because I'm walking by those shitholes every day, and I'm staying in this hotel, and this is totally true. I get up one day, and I'm watching the Avengers nude in my hotel room, because that's the way you should watch that movie. Like, we should have been allowed to have our dicks out in the theater. Come on, when Hulk beats the shit out of Loki, that's a full-on dick out moment. Like, Hulk smash indeed. Get it, buddy. Teach that trickster god a lesson. Send him back to Odin damaged. So, I have to pause the Avengers because Fatty McGoldie has to pee. Because I'm old and gross and fat. So, I paused the movie. This is totally true. No fabrication at all. I get up from the bed, and on my way to the hotel bathroom, I farted on every step.
Yes.
Yeah. Every step I took with my stupid fucking feet was accompanied by a gross fart. 16 farts. It was a decent-sized room. And I thought those farts were supposed to get me through Christmas. Those were supposed to last me through the end of the year. But I blasted them all out in one shot. I hope you enjoy fart humor, because it's going to be a couple minutes. I'm starting what they call in the business my fart chunk. A lot of comedians tell fart jokes. I tell fart stories. I'm a fartist. It's true. So I'm farting. As I'm walking, I got off the bed and I went, and I start giggling. Because in my head, I'm 15 years old, right? In my head, I'm like, oh my god, dude. Hilarious. Are you really gonna fart on every step, dude? Holy shit. It's gonna be a fun day, dude. Does not last long. My amusement with my human body, with my gross body, immediately turns to humiliation and anger and pure self-hatred. I immediately go from ha ha ha, am I really gonna fart on every step to holy fucking shit, are you kidding me? Am I really gonna fart on every fucking step? You're the worst body ever. I fucking hate you, body. I should throw you out the window and fucking spare everybody. You're horrible. And I get to the bathroom, and the last part is so uneventful. It's just kind of like, wah. And I look in the mirror, I'm red-faced, because I'm furious. And I've now forgotten why I went to the bathroom. But the the entire room reeks. It smells like a garbage fire. Like, I seriously have no idea why security wasn't like, what the fuck are you cooking in there? Like, sadness. I've got 16 farts on the barbecue. Wanna come in and join me? Fucking horrible. And they've gotten worse. They've gotten worse in my old age. Like, they smell worse now than they did in my 20s. I thought in your 20s, the farts would be the worst they'd ever get, right? Because when you're young, you're eating the worst food you'll ever eat, you know? And I remember farting in my buddy's car in my 20s, because I'm a good friend, and, like, the worst he'd say to me is like, dude, are you okay? Like, you should see a doctor. You might be dying. My farts now smell like I'm already dead. They smell like the last fart. I don't mean the previous fart, like the last fart, like the last horrible smell that escaped from my stupid rotting carcass. Like my body's just thrown in the towel. We're done, fucking death. I know, and the worst part is I used to be able to control them. I'll get off the farts in a minute, but I got a story to tell. Like, I knew when they were coming back in the old days. Like, and this is true. I played a lot of video games growing up, and I still do, but not as much as I used to. And in the 90s, I would be playing the game GoldenEye, and I always sucked at GoldenEye, so this is what I would do. Is I would get up in the middle of the game when I felt a fart brewing, and I would use it for evil. What I would do is I would fart on my buddy's back. Yeah, like full contact, like ass on back. And of course, he would drop the controller and go like, what the fuck, dude? And then I'd murder him in the game. If I was to fart on one of my friends now, at 46, there's an 85% chance I'm going to shit on my friend. Yeah. 85%. Sounds high, right? I think I'm being generous with the 85%. With two mathematicians, I think it's closer to 93 or so, if we're going to be honest. And that is a true test of friendship. Like, you're pushing the bro code when you shit on your buddy. Can we still be bros, bro? I know you're my best man, but I just shit on your back, dude. Yes, I'll wash your back. So, the point is, and I do have a point, and I'll do one last fart story, and then I'll move on to my balls. Is that I don't know when they're coming anymore. They just drop out. Like, this is a true story. I feel like we're friends, so I can tell you this. Christian Slater smelled one of my farts. Yeah, Christian Slater. Yeah, man, I live in LA. I'm pretty cool. I have a pretty cool life. I get to fart on B-level celebrities. I farted on some A-level celebrities, but those stories aren't as good. I farted on Paul Rudd just last year, and all that happened was Paul Rudd went, fuck Posehn, and I went, sorry, Rudd, and that's the end of that story. Same thing with Jason Segel. Christian Slater, however, qualifies as an actual story, because it has a beginning, middle, and ending, which every story needs. Now, if you're not familiar with Christian Slater's work, watch a movie, right? He's like my generation's Jack Nicholson, and not because he's that great of an actor, but because he seems like he's doing a Jack Nicholson impression in a lot of his early work. And I like Christian Slater. I'm not bad-mouthing Christian Slater. I like him a lot. I did not know Christian Slater before this story. I still do not know Christian Slater. He, however, will remember me for the rest of his fucking life. So this is what happened. It's completely true. 8 months ago, I'm heading into an audition. It's early in the morning, and it's an audition for a new cartoon for a voiceover. And I'm been eating especially badly this week. I'm full of sausage McMuffins and frowns. And I get off the elevator, and the only person sitting in the waiting room for the audition is Christian Slater. Now I see him, and I'm excited to see him because I'm a big movie geek. So in my head, I'm like, fuck yeah, it's Christian Slater from Heathers and True Romance and that skateboarding movie with Tony Hawk, Gleam in the Cube, and that movie where Samantha Mathis shows her tits, the high school thing where he's on the radio, pump up the volume. Doesn't really hold up, but fucking there he is. And I'm kind of excited to see him, man. It's 8 in the morning. This is as excited as I get, you know? So I see him and I go, hey, man. And he sees me and he goes, hey, man. You know, I don't do impressions, so that's all you get. And, so I sit next to Christian, and I'm sitting next to him for just a minute, and they call him in, and now I'm alone, and I'm like, oh, well, I should figure out what I'm doing. I should look at the script, right? I should get ready for this audition. So I stand up. So all I do is go from sitting position to standing position, and a horrible fart just fucking falls out of me. Like, no warning. I don't even feel it. Like, just nothing but net. Just fucking squish. And I don't even know how it made noise, because I didn't feel it on my ass, but it made noise. It was like... And immediately I'm like, God damn it. And I do this, right? Oh, the saddest man, alone in Los Angeles in a waiting room, waving his stink. And anybody who's ever done this knows this doesn't do dick. This doesn't miraculously make farts disappear. All this does is put the fart smell in places that it wasn't already. Because of this, it now stinks over there. The fart was restricted to this area, now I've expanded my blast zone. It should stink in this whole room, that's what I think. Recurring theme of this show is I immediately go from grossed out to anger and self-hatred. Because I'm mad at myself for not having a warning. I'm mad at my body for not giving me a heads up, you know? Not doing a bro a solid and telling me when I had one coming. Because, like, if I even had 15 seconds worth of warning, I've never been in this building before, but I would have looked for a bathroom or left it in the fucking elevator, you know? Like, I'm a good person. I was raised right, you know what I mean? But no warning! And I'm just mad that that's how my life is now. I don't get warnings about my farts. It's all been happening in the last year, so I flash back to a couple months before this. I'll get back to Christian. He's still in there. Don't worry about him. I hope he gets it. And so a couple months before this, I was in a comic book shop, and it was one of the first times my farts just came from out of nowhere, and I'm walking through this narrow aisle, and at the end of this narrow aisle is another fat gentleman, like bigger than me. I'm fat, but this guy's a big fat bastard. And the aisle was super narrow, so there's no room for two fatties. So he very politely says to me, excuse me, and all I do is move this leg 4 inches back so Chubbs can squeak by. And a 5-second long fart fell out of me. 5 seconds. I know it sounds like a small increment of time, but when you're farting, it's a goddamn eternity. 5 seconds is so long. Like when in a Matrix bullet time and shit. It's like everything's slowed down. And it was so loud. It was louder than the crappy music they're playing in the comic book shop, louder than Nickelback or Hinder or whatever the fuck. That fucking... 5 seconds. And it ends on a high note, it ends like on a whoop! Like my fart had a flourish. Like the end of a Mariah Carey song or some shit. Like, it ended on the high note, and like I was kind of impressed, but then also goddamn horrified. Now, so anybody who's been listening to these last 10 minutes of fart material, you would not believe the next part of the story, but it's all true, and that's the fact that I got embarrassed. And, I mean, the fact that I talk about this stuff every night makes you think that I don't get embarrassed. I tell strangers how gross I am and how bad my farts smell every night, so it makes you think I don't get embarrassed. You're wrong, because I don't know this dude. And I didn't tell you this part of the story. We're so fat, our bellies are touching. Yeah. So I didn't fart near him or on him. I fucking farted in him. Like, it got penetration. Yeah, ew. So I'm embarrassed. I'm red-faced, because I don't know this motherfucker, and I just farted in him. So, and he had said, "Excuse me" to me, and then I farted in him. So my response to deal with my embarrassment and humiliation is through humor. So I turn to him, and I repeat the same words he said to me, but I said them in a different way. I go, "Excuse me!" And then I laughed. I didn't just laugh, I cackled. Like a goddamn mental patient. Like, I was out of my mind, just red-faced and like, ha 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 ha! Right in this dude's face. Because part of my shitty logic was, we might bond over this moment. Because we're two fat, gross guys. Like, women find us unfuckable, ha ha, you know, like... If a dude in here farted on me, I'd be like, "Hey man, Metallica's coming to town. Clearly we should be friends. Let's rent a van and fart on each other and check out some metal." Like, I'm half waiting for a high five from this dude. No high five. He just like frowns and scoots by me. And I'm like left standing there going, "Misconnection." So, back in the waiting room, I come out of my flashback like it's a Tarantino movie, and I'm still doing this, right? And it still stinks. And the door opens, so I go, you know. I didn't actually make that noise, but I did that. And normally what happens at an audition is the person in front of you comes out, and then somebody running the audition follows them with like a clipboard and calls the next person in. I don't even wait for the clipboard lady. I sprint by Christian, because I know what's waiting for him. And sure enough, man, the door shuts. Before I can even start my audition from the other side of the door, I hear, "Oh, man!" Marking the moment Christian Slater walked into my wall of hate. And it was one of those invisible spiderweb farts, you know, where you can't see it, but you can't get it off of you. You know, so. It's in my beard, man. Like, he still stank when he got into his Range Rover, I'm sure, but goes home to his hot lady and she's like, "Why do you smell like character actor?" Long story. So all this stuff is new. It's all been happening in the last year or two, and this is true. I don't really have a segue for this, but my penis, I don't know why my voice goes up high when I say it. My penis. But if I try to say it low and serious, it sounds even creepier, like if I go, "My penis." That's unfortunate. That sounds like I'm going to show it to you. "Hey, Philly, check out my penis." Yuck. So my penis hasn't shrunk. I would tell you if it has shrunk, but it hasn't. But my balls have gotten bigger. I know. So it gives off the optical illusion that it's shrunk. Like, I'm an old guy. When you get into your 40s, your balls drop, and then they continue to drop. Like, they've gotten bigger just since I walked out here tonight. Now it gives off the optical illusion that my penis has shrunk. Like, if you had a high school photo of my high school penis, and first of all, I'd be like, "What the fuck? Where'd you get that?" Like, that's super weird. And no, I won't sign it. You're gross. But if you held that next to my current penis, you'd go like, dude, that shit has shrunk. It hasn't. It's just because my balls have gotten huge. Like, my penis now looks like a Shar-Pei sleeping on top of 2 dirty beanbag chairs. Like, you know, Shar-Peis, those wrinkly dogs you gotta spend like $2,000 for. Let that little wrinkled angel sleep. Let him sleep. He's adorable. Tuckered out from running around the yard all day. I know a lot of women are grossed out, but and probably dudes too. But it gets worse. It gets worse, because if we're telling the truth, it leaks. I know. And not my balls, my penis. My penis leaks. It'd be weird if my balls leak. It's still weird. But any amount, it doesn't leak a lot, my penis, but any amount of dick leakage is like too much, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know. So the way I found out about it, I say every fucking morning, so the way I found out about it, and it happens to dudes my age, is so I was peeing, and then I shook it, I did what I've done my entire life, and then I went, poink, I don't make that noise, it makes that noise, and then I went about my business, like, well, I'm clearly done with that activity. And then my penis was like, nope, not done. Penis tears. Oh, penis tears, standing in my underwear and making my wife hate me on laundry day. Oh, penis tears. And so, my penis started crying around March last year, and so then we had that hot summer, we had a super hot summer out in LA, so I had to wash myself like 5 or 6 times a day because of the penis tears. I know, like I'd take 2 showers, and then the other times I would do like 3 cat baths, right? Like, yeah, I'm gonna act it out. I know. I'm just letting you into what's going on in my life. We're friends, right? So I would do this 3 times a day. Gotta get behind there so the a-hole doesn't stink worse than usual. I know, my God. Here's the thing. How my wife hasn't killed herself, I have no idea. Like, she's walked in on me doing that like 3 or 4 times. Like, I don't know you, but if I walked into a public bathroom and saw you doing that, I'd fucking unload a gun into my mouth. Like, I'd run out of bullets shooting out the back of my head, just fucking blah, 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 blah. Fucking horrifying. But if I don't do that, it smells like a bunch of homeless dudes peed on my balls. Like, it smells like a subway stairwell. It's fucking disgusting. I know. And I'm sharing all this for a reason, because I'm mad and I'm grossed out, and I just like, I asked my my doctor when it first started happening, and it's totally true, I asked my doctor, I go, hey, you know, so my balls have gotten droopier and bigger, and my penis leaks now, and she goes, yep, it happens, and I'm like, you're awesome, here's $800. I'll just go back to my leaky dick and my gross old balls. I love my life, I hate you. Because no one warned me that that was going to happen. And I feel like, you know, I never saw a comedy show where the fat bastard talked about his leaky dick. Like, here's the thing. I had no idea it was coming, you know. Like, I was raised by a single mom. And my mom was awesome. My dad died when I was 2. Don't feel bad. But my mom worked very hard, went to college so she could get a better job, and fucking kicked ass and all that. But my mom never told me that my dick might leak in the future. Because she wasn't privy to that sort of information. Don't feel bad, again, but I had 2 father figures that stepped up. I had my 2 grandfathers, and my grandfathers were fucking awesome, and they taught me a bunch of cool stuff. I had an Irish grandpa who stepped in, and basically all he taught me about was drinking and snoring, which I'm still really, really good at, thanks to him. And my German grandpa was out of his mind. My German grandpa taught me a bunch of cool shit. He taught me never to touch an electric fence. He taught me that by pushing me into an electric fence. It's true, it sounds brutal, but I think that's how they teach kids in the old country. No touching, Z, fucking bam. but I never touch and eat again. Crazy German grandpa, Grandpa Edmund Posehn. Edmund. He also taught me this. He taught me you can hold a firecracker in your hand. You've probably been told, at 12 years old I learned this, you've probably been told your entire lives never to hold a firecracker in your hand, because it's true. If you hold a firecracker like this, it'll blast your fucking fingers off. But Grandpa Edmund taught me that you can hold a firecracker like this in your open hand, and all that will happen is your hand will sting for like 3 days. And your ears will ring, and you'll hate your grandfather. That's all that will happen. But he never once told me that my dick was gonna leak. Like, you know, he could have. He had plenty of opportunities. I was there every summer. Like, we could have been building a birdhouse in his backyard. He could have said, like, take care of your dick, boy. It's gonna leak. Don't shove pens up, but I guess I would have been like, thanks, Grandpa. I'll file that right next to the fucking electrical fence and the firecracker, you crazy old crap. So I feel misguided, maybe, but I feel like I'm doing my part by telling people every night, because there's young guys come to my show and older guys. So there's like guys in their 20s, and I feel like I'm telling the guys in their 20s to watch out for your dick, you know, it might leak. And I feel like older guys in the crowd, you might have a leaky dick, and you don't have the same opportunity I have. You don't have a microphone, but I think you should do your part and tell people about their leaky dicks. So if you're at the bank, standing at the ATM, and you see some kids skateboarding, you should go over and tell them that their dicks might leak down the road. And this is important information. Don't walk over. Fucking run over. See some kid skateboarding on a curb and just run at him and go, your dick's gonna leak, boy! And he'll be like, what the fuck? Drop his skateboard, kick it into the street. But he'll remember you for the rest of his life. And maybe one day he'll have a leaky dick and he'll be like, oh my god, that crazy old asshole at the bank. He's like a ghost from the future sent to tell me about my leaky dick. Now I know I've been gross, and I talked about a bunch of, nasty stuff about myself for the last 30 minutes or so, but I do it every night, and it's all newer stuff. It's all been happening to me just in the last year or two. My body's getting worse and worse, and so I tell people every night, while I'm out here, my wife is at home with our kid, and she's worried about me cheating on her. Fuck you. And you're right. Fuck you for laughing first, and you're exactly right. Like, I'm gonna cheat on my wife with this? After I just talked about it for 45 minutes? Like, let's say, even after my set tonight, I was still able to cash in on some Just Shoot Me pussy. Yeah, I was on a sitcom on NBC for 4 years. Sweet, sweet Just Shoot Me pussy. Let's say I was able to get some poor young girl to go back to my room at the Doubletree, like 8 blocks away. I'll tell you where you can GPS it and head over there. Like, you don't even have to go with me. You can tell your friends, like, I don't feel so good. I'll text you tomorrow, ladies.
It'll be like 5
and then I'll see you over there. I'm not sure. If you have I think room service ended, but we can order a pizza from around the corner or whatever. And we'll watch The Avengers. Dude, it's not on the TV, but we'll watch it on my laptop. And what's going to happen, though, is like I'll take off my shirt and you're going to be like, bleh. And I'm going to be like, it gets worse. Check out my purdas. Which is what my wife doesn't understand. My sweet, sweet wife has been with me for 15 years. We've been married 8, but we've been together 15. And I was super hot when we hooked up, right? Like, super no, I wasn't. But to her, she finds me charming, and, we've been together so long, like, the degradation has been gradual, like, she's barely noticed. It's like living on a fault line, like, you don't notice it until your fucking house falls in the ocean. Like, clearly shit has been going south for a while, shit. when the living room split in half, that was a warning. But showing this to somebody new, anybody, that's like me showing my shitty car to somebody for the first time. Like somebody giving me your piece of shit car for the first time. Like too many explanations and apologies. Like, oh, that hasn't worked in years. Throw your shoulder into that. If you don't be afraid of it, just really hit it. You gotta really hit it. That, crank it. Fucking crank it, lady. Crank it. That smell, no goddamn idea. I have no idea what that horrible smell is. I think the neighbor's think the neighbor's cat crawled in there, had babies, and died. So I mentioned my son. My son is 3.5 now, and anybody that has kids or has ever seen a 3.5-year-old or heard of a 3.5-year-old knows that they're out of their goddamn minds. I haven't been around too many kids because I look like this. Like most people keep their kids the fuck away from me. Like if I'm in a grocery store parking lot, people are like, stay away from that Yeti. He's gonna fucking rape you and eat you. In reverse order. So my son's out of his goddamn mind, and but he's a blast. And one of my favorite parts when I get to go home on Sunday, I'll get to do what I love doing, and that's at the end of the day, we'll have a fun day, and then I get to get him to wind the fuck down and go the fuck to sleep. That's Daddy's job when I'm home. So what we do, it's a ritual every night, is we wrestle on our bed. I bring him into Mommy and Daddy's room, and we wrestle on the bed, and hit him with pillows and shit, and I fucking love it. And, it's awesome. And he's into superheroes now, so he's like wants to do superhero play, and so he's like, Daddy, you be Wolverine and I'll be Batman. But since I'm a giant nerd, I'm like, well, those guys are from 2 separate universes. Generally, crossovers don't work, but we can play your stupid baby game. Fucking stupid baby. He's like, I'm 3, you dick. So we wrestle, it's a blast. He's into Star Wars now, which I have mixed feelings about. I'll talk about in a second, but I can't do a set without talking about Star Wars. So he really said as we were playing, and he goes, Daddy, you be Darth Vader and I'll be Anakin. And I'm like, well, they're the same. Ah, fuck. For us. So a year ago, when this phase first started, this crazy energy, he was 2.5, and we were wrestling on the bed one day, and I had my shirt off, which is okay. I read it on the internet. As a kid. I just wanted to make sure. And hopefully I won't scar him. And we're wrestling, and my son, 2.5 at the time, points to my gross unshirted gut, and he says, baby? Motherfucker. God damn you. Is your shitty mom telling you to say that? What the fuck is that? Baby? Yeah. He's awesome. So, we've now got, because he's a Star Wars nut, we've got Star Wars shit throughout our whole house. Every room of our house has Star Wars stuff. Now, 20 years ago, when I lived with a bunch of dudes in a crappy apartment, I had Star Wars shit through every room. So I get it. But then a couple of things happened that made me hate Star Wars for the rest of my life. Now I know you're sick of old guys my age talking about how great the original Star Wars was. And, you know, all these dudes my age hate the prequels. My hatred goes before that. I hate the special editions because I didn't think there was any need to fuck with those movies. Yeah. Those movies were perfect. Now, the special editions just last year came out on Blu-ray, and I heard George Lucas did even more fixing, and so I couldn't even watch it on the internet because I heard now Darth Vader goes, no, and I didn't want to watch it because I have high blood pressure. And I didn't want to be sitting in front of my computer watching Star Wars footage and have my left arm go numb and I fucking fill my pants with shit. So except my last words be fucking Lucas. Like, that is not a Viking death. That's like, loser's done. So, the special editions came out on Blu-ray, and this is totally true. I'm in Target with my wife the week they come out, and we're walking around the corner, and she doesn't see it yet, but I see the Star Wars Blu-ray display. And I feel like it's mocking me. I feel like it's in high school, and it just called me faggot. Like, I just lose my shit on the fucking Star Wars display. I'm like, fuck you, George Lucas, you don't get my money anymore, motherfucker, ha ha. You're cut off, bitch. And my wife was just like, what is wrong with you? You giant weirdo. And she doesn't even see the display, and I point to the display, but like, I can't even express myself. Like, I'm just like, grrr. And she just turns and looks and rolls her eyes because she is so sick of me complaining about Star Wars. She doesn't even like to hear the word star next to the word wars because that's my Vietnam. Like, I'm the crazy old asshole in the neighborhood and those are my trigger words. Don't say Star Wars around that guy. Like, some kid will come up and go, I like the new Star Wars. And I'm like, well, you don't know shit about dick, motherfucker. 1977, bitch, where were you inside your daddy's balls? I was in the shit. I was fucking waiting for that movie. Waiting for days. And we didn't have Jar Jar Binks and CGI. And you didn't need computer graphics. When we wanted a spaceship, we had a spaceship. We had a guy, a nerd, build a spaceship out of plastic and hang it from a string and say it's space, and you thought it was space because you thought it was the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life. But we didn't need special editions because it already was special. Here. And here. And Greedo didn't shoot first. Greedo didn't fucking shoot at all because he didn't get to because Han Solo was too much of a badass. And oh fuck, my left arm's going numb. Now, the crowd is sort of divided. There's a lot of people that are love that joke and get really behind me and believe the same thing that I believe. And then a lot of you, and I get it, a lot of people don't care. Because to a lot of you, you've never even seen the movie, or you don't even care, and you're like, dude, why do you care? It's just a movie. Fuck you, it's not just a movie. It's my life, goddamn. And I get that. I've been telling this joke for about a year now, and I get that reaction. Like, I told this joke the week I was in Times Square and at Caroline's, and I had 4 Guidos in the front row, straight out of Jersey Shore, and they were awesome. They laughed at all the ball jokes and all the dirty fart jokes. But then when I started talking about Star Wars, these 4 Guidos, they just tightened up, and their arms, arms were crossed, and they're like, who gives a fuck? And I'm like, sadly, Guidos, I give a fuck. Like, I give so many fucks. Too many fucks. Like, I know I'm damaged. Like, it's a defect. I admit that. Like, there's so many things in life I don't give a fuck about. Like, the election. I don't even know what happened. Like, no fucks given about the election. Mayan calendar, I think it worked out. We're all still here. No fucks given. My health, clearly not a ton of fucks given about my health. Like, I'm here for 4 days and I'll probably have 5 cheesesteaks. I don't give a fuck. Star Wars? Too many fucking fucks. Like, that's what my son's gonna have to hide from me. It's not gonna be pot or porno. I'll be okay with that. Like, not now, right? Like, not at 3. Like, that's a little early to get a weed or a porno addiction, but soonish, right? And I'll be okay with it. But what's going to happen is he's going to come home from spending the weekend at a friend's house, you know, and see my wife and go, hey, Mom, I was over at Justin's and I saw Phantom Menace. It's not that bad. And she's going to go, watch your goddamn mouth. Your father will leave us. You guys have been a lot of fun, man. I hope you had a good time. I really did.
Keep it going for Brian Posehn. And Jeremy Essex. And Nick Russo again, home stage. Thank you very much.